years ago, 20 plus years ago, I wanted to do an event venue. And I ran a landscape company for 24 years, and I've been writing down ideas. I have a whole word file of different things I wanted to do. Some of them I've retired, others of them I've actually brought to fruition. But originally I thought it was just going to be an open meadow on some property I bought, and then I would put like a pergola out there and grow it up from there. The years keep going by, I stay with landscaping. And then somebody approaches me about selling my business, and I'm like, no. And then about 2 days later, I'm like, yes. And that kind of started the whole process. We were actually looking at Green Mountain Airport, having in to buy that. My realtor knew the lady. We had pretty much said, yeah, we're going to buy it. I was going to do a venue there with kind of an outdoor venue, and then you can go in the airplane hangar and have your receptions. So we sold the business, we sold our house, and we moved back in with my dad. My daughter ended up sleeping in the laundry room on a twin mattress. The boys shared a bedroom, we got a bedroom, and that's kind of how life was. Finally got down to where all the assets were there, we were liquid, we were ready to work things out. Started talking to her, property had some income, we were negotiating price, and we got down to about $500,000 difference, and we couldn't work out. And we went back and forth. She wouldn't budge. It didn't make sense to go above that. I needed money to build what I wanted to on the property, and we just kind of hit a standstill. And it's like, okay, I know I'm moving forward with this, but I'm hitting a brick wall. I said, all right, Pat, if you got me here because you want to show me something else, but you use that as my carrot to get me to this point, I'm willing to see something else. I had already looked at this property online and went, no. And then my realtor was like, you need to see it. And I'm like, fine, I'll go see it. And one thing with my wife and I, since we started dating, when she talked about her future house, I had a wraparound porch. And that's all she wanted on the house was a wraparound porch. So we came up here on a Wednesday with my realtor, walked in the front door, and I was like, just tell them we're going to make an offer. I got to get Patricia up here, but we'll make an offer. And then we walked through the house, and I was like, yeah, this is done. Our realtor called their realtor, said we're going to make an offer. I got Patricia up here on, was it a Sunday? Sunday, we walked through, and then we made an offer the next day. We only had 30 days left on our financing. Interest rates were going up. I think they had already gone up a whole percentage point by that point. So we were locked in a whole point lower than what we got. And we had 30 days to close. We made the offer, and if anybody's in real estate, 30 days is tough. And we found out we were in second position. And we're like, oh crap. So I'm telling my realtor, what do we do? And she's like, I'm going to order all the inspections. We're going to get everything done. We're closing. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. And then I think 7 or 10 days later, we got bumped to first position. And then we closed the last day of our financing. Papers went to escrow, and we closed that afternoon. So and then we took possession the next day, which was July 1st, 2022. We came onto the property. This was a horse barn with hay still over there in the corner, plastic on the walls, and chewed on boards. Yeah. And we took it from there. If you look around, all the bottom half of this is all the original boards from the original. We repurposed them, took them from the outside and stuff, and you can see towards the doors where the horses have chewed on the top of the boards.
Crown.
Horse, it was crown.
It wasn't just one stall, it was quite a few stalls.
He was in a lot of stalls.
He made the round.
Oh, yeah, so we kept those boards, I kept them at the top. Tried to keep as much personality as we could there. It was a sand, dirt, mud floor. We added this addition to it. Horse manure pile is back here.
Yep.
The manure went somewhere else. But it was a giant blackberry pile. We turned that into a water feature. And then this was just design as we go. Originally I was gonna do something up above, and then fall started coming and we pivoted and we moved to this area, and it was spray paint on the dirt was how I designed this whole thing. I kind of had a vision in my head, and then go through and make changes, or as it's being built, I'd see something that was better. I lost an argument on the water feature. This side was my design. The other side was my lead guy's design. We built it once. There was a leak. He rebuilt it when I wasn't watching, and it actually turned out better than what I had designed. So that was our first year. Started doing events last year. We had 6 events last year, and then we're trying, I think we'll hit 40 this year. We've got 34 scheduled right now, but I think we'll pick up. I'll be happy if we hit 30, so we'll come close. Ultimate goal is to get up to about 100 events per year. So a lot of people don't know we're here. Value for what people get, we're right in there with smaller venues for our cost, but we're larger and we offer a lot more that they don't have. What's funny is when people come here, they go, okay, what are the hidden costs? We get that question, what are the hidden costs? What do we have to rent extra? I'm like, it's all in the price. I know a lot of venues, it's like, oh, here's our price, it's way down here. Oh, you want to use our sound system? Okay. You want to use our tables? Okay. You want to use our chairs? Okay. Oh, you want to use our restroom? And all of a sudden, they're twice our price. So we've just, you get what you get, and you don't have to pay for anything else. Trying to think where I should go from here. Our first wedding here.
Go ahead, raise your hand. Don't be shy. Get me
They were our first wedding. And we have the little one. Floating around, is the little one napping right now? They were our first wedding here. And you grew up here doing horses and gardening and
Not true, but I just helped out.
helped out. Yeah. So that was nice to have somebody from the property actually be one of our first weddings here. Where do we go from here?
Ask questions.
Does everybody have,
If we have questions, I'll answer questions. I know Mary Lee wanted me to talk about what's going to come in our future plans, but is there anything else we want to touch on before we do that?
How many acres will also be vacant?
Right now, so when we applied for this, I can just hurry up. I'll have about 4.5 acres of being in here. I have plans where we log down there. That's actually going to be another building. So we'll kind of keep what we have now, and we're going to do some fruit trees up the side here, so I can do some fruit wines, or mix a little bit of fruit in with my wines and play with that. But we'll do about 4.5 acres worth of wine. I won't produce that much, so we'll probably end up selling some of the grapes. When we first moved here, I was a winemaker, a home winemaker, and I stumbled into it backwards. I'd made beer before. But Patricia's dad would always talk about plum brandy from Romania, and how on their farm they'd make this plum brandy, and the Germans would come in and they'd stay, and they loved the plum brandy. They go back, we had a big plum tree in our backyard, and I was like, great, let's do it. So I went to the University of YouTube, ended up making a hot mess, and took the plums, threw them in a bucket. I didn't use the yeast, which was wrong. I used one type of plum, which was wrong. I didn't learn about settling and clearing, which was wrong. So I had all these stages I was going through, and I came from a beer background, which is different than a wine background, and had to go through all these challenges of trying to make this plum brandy. Ultimately, I got it finally filtered and cleared down to the point where it was still a little murky, but it tasted really good. I added honey to it, got it perfectly balanced with honey, and 3 days later, the rest of the honey dissolved, and it was too sweet, and I said, screw it, I'm done. And I put a couple bungs on it, I threw it under the counter, and that was the end of it. Kind of looked at winemaking, and oh, winemaking is very similar to this, it's the same equipment. made my first batch of wine. Red wine was supposed to have it age out for 9 months before you drink it, and I think I had it all drunk within 6 months. And then I kept making batches, and we argued about the finances on that for a while, and I said, let's cheaper than buying it in the store. She said, equipment, cost. 300 bottles later, we started the whole process of buying this. It got stuck in storage, and then we're still drinking through some of it. Through this whole thing, I realized if I wanted to do events, which this whole building is designed for the tent, Clark County had a process where if you become a type 1 winery permit, it's a lot easier than going through the type 2. It's not. So that's what we did. And I was like, oh great, I'll become a winemaker, and we'll do events and we'll do both. I love doing both. I've since gone back to school. I'm with WSU right now. I'm working on my certification for viticulture and also enology, which is winemaking. And I'm in the process of doing that. But formalized it, and that got us to where we are here today. And I'm fine-tuning my winemaking process, and we're doing wine parties where I kind of take them through how I learned initially, which is a simpler process. And the wine you're drinking here today, I kept my